What's up guys, Sam Legend here, back again with another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and in today's video we are going to be going over the upcoming treasure map versus Akainu. So this treasure map doesn't seem to be, so far anyway, doesn't seem to be that bad with the gimmicks and everything like other previous maps have been. So we're going to be actually be able to build accessible free-to-play teams alongside my pay-to-win teams that I will be showcasing in another video. This video is just going to be focusing on the free-to-play accessible side of the team building, so we're going to not going to waste any time here. We're just going to jump right into it. So we're going to be starting off by looking at the versus Coby fight. So the Coby fight is going to be a strength boss, and he's going to be able to give us cooldown versus gauge and super swap reduction to everybody, so -5 to everybody. Stage 3, we have to deal with delay immunity, 8 turns of bind to our bottom 2 rows, so the crewmates, and 8 turns of despair to our captains, obviously. Both of those debuffs going down by 5 turns, so they become a little bit more manageable. 3 turns of attack down below a 2.25 times chain, which does really suck there, and then 1 turn of special reverse to our crewmates. And when you defeat the boss, we do get hit with a 50k damage death hit, so we do have to deal with a lot of things here. But if you have the 2 Odyssey units that came out in this game, then you will be able to deal with the stage a lot easier. So the audio, which is the captain there, he's able to actually remove the bind by 5 turns, while also giving us a damage reduction by 85%, on top of that giving us a chain boost. So we do get a lot with this unit alone by himself, but with the other Odyssey unit, Lim, she is able to give us the despair reduction and also give us our cooldowns back, our specials back, reducing our cooldowns by 1 turn. On top of that, she's able to give us a chain boundary of, I think it is 2.25 times, so when you hit your first perfect, you should be able to get past that. To not get inflicted with attack down there, but that you only get the big chain boundary if you do have damage reduction active, which, like I said earlier, the audio does do that, so we are going to be able to get that bigger chain boundary. Everyone else here is probably just filler. We have Luffy Ace being able to give us the attack and a color affinity boost. We have the Robin being able to give us the defense now conditional boost, because we do have Luffy on the crew, and the Brook there is literally just there for end of turn damage, so we can use him on the first stage and wait for the first 2 stages. And the Blanc Clay can literally just be anybody. You can actually just use Sanji, treasure map Sanji, to give you like an orb boost for the next 4 turns or whatever. So that's pretty cool. So this team is actually pretty easy to build. It's a pretty easy boss if you ask me. As long as you have those Odyssey units, you're not going to have a tough time with that boss there. Now versus Garp is going to be the next the boss here. Going to be a side boss, giving the cooldown, all that stuff to Slasher, Powerhouse, and Cerebral characters. On stage 3, we do have delay immunity. We have 10 turns of paralysis, 3 turns of an attack down if your chain is not between 3.25 times and 4.75 times. So that's a pretty annoying chain attack down debuff there. We also have to deal with block slots, and if you use an orb boost on this stage, you do get interrupted and your effects get blown away, and you do get stunned on your bottom row, so you obviously want to avoid that. And the way we're going to be doing that is by using the double dual unit Big Mom that recently got her 6+ evolution here. Now the way she works is that she is capable of removing the paralysis with her super swap, by just, if you activated her super swap, then you get rid of paralysis by 5 turns. So ideally, if you run double Big Mom, you get rid of all turns of the paralysis there. And on top of that, she is able to provide you with a 2 times attack and orb boost with that same swap, so we do actually avoid the interrupt on that stage. Now for the other effects, like the chain locking thing, we do have her special to give us a chain lock base 3.5 times, I'm pretty sure, so we are able to get past that chain debuff there. And for the block slots, we do have the treasure map Who's Who being able to remove those slots and give us matching slots. And we have the other units here being basically just more filler units. We have the what's his name, the Shiryu, being able to give us a color affinity boost for driven and slasher characters. We have the Who's Who and Dofi also being driven there alongside Who's Who. And the Big Mom is a slasher unit, so everyone here gets cooldown here. And the page, like I said, page 1 and Dofi are just there to be there, so they can be literally anything you want. But overall, as long as you have this Big Mom and someone to remove block slots, you are going to have another easy time with this boss here. Now, on versus Kizaru, this is where things start to get a little bit more annoying free-to-play wise. Now, we do have the cooldowns and everything going to Slasher, Free Spirit, and Powerhouse characters. Now, on stage 3, we have to deal with immunity, 3 turns of defense up, 2 turns of a 1 Waddle slot barrier, and 12 turns of despair alongside recovery slots. So ideally, well, you want to be using at least the friend captain in Mazoro, but I'm pretty sure what's recommended is also using the Momonosuke, which does really suck because of the fact that not only is it good for this for this map here, he is also slasher focus, so obviously you want to run slasher focus units, but the problem being is that there's not a lot of boosted slasher characters that get rid of despair besides Hiyori, because if you have the Hiyori legend, you can just use her and Momonosuke to get rid of the despair completely. But obviously this is a free-to-play team and not a lot of people are going to have the Hiyori unit, so we always have to make do with what we have. So instead we're going to be using a unit that's not even boosted, being this Pedro here, who did come out during the time of Luffy and Sanji. He's really good here because he's able to reduce the despair and defense up by 4 turns. So that's pretty cool right there. Alongside Momonosuke, he's able to get rid of 3 turns of despair, so until that's 7 turns. And then we have this other Robin character who is boosted in the treasure map here. She's able to get rid of the despair by 3 turns, but the problem being is even though she's boosted for the treasure map, she's not boosted in this team here because I'm pretty sure she's fighter cerebral. So neither Zoro or Momonosuke boost those classes, but that doesn't really matter too much because we do have other quick units here on the team anyway, so that's not that big of a deal. We have the PKA Roger giving us a base attack boost, and we have the Clash Zoro giving us I'm pretty sure at the very least a 1.75 times color affinity boost, and we have the Momonosuke giving us a 2.75 times orb boost, so that's pretty cool. And then the Zoro, the friend captain, is going to be giving us the attack boost, and his Emna Gauge ability is going to be able to give us the Wano slots because of the fact we have a full board of recovery slots, and this will help us get past the barrier there. Now, onto the other team, the last team of the mini bosses here being versus Kuzan. Sorry, I got like something in my throat now. Versus Kuzan is going to be giving the cooldowns and everything to Int, Psy, and Dex. And on stage 3, we have to deal with delay immunity, 1 turn of a 10-hit barrier, and 7 turns of special bind, 3 turns of type slots unfavorable, 1 turn of special reverse and block slots, which is not that big of a deal if you have the not versus King, but the King, the Albert, there we go, the Albert unit. But the problem being is that he does have special reverse in his kit, and that is a problem because there's an interrupt if you reduce your specials, and the interrupt is going to be 8 turns of bind to the captains and a removal of your beneficial effects. This wouldn't be a problem if you have double King, but obviously if you're free to play, you're probably not pulling a lot, or you probably didn't get lucky enough to pull the King, so you have to deal with the fact that you have to get rid of bind now. So we're gonna again go outside of the boosted list and use the 5+ Don Krieg unit, being able to reduce bind by 5 turns, and also being driven powerhouse, he is able to get the cooldown and the special bind reduction from the King there. Now after that, after you use King and Don Krieg, you have everyone else to use now. Only 2 units after that. We have the Blitz Battle 5+ Kaido being able to give you a 2.5 times attack and orb boost. And then we have the Treasure Map Moria, this is the quick one anyway, being able to reduce the barrier by at least 1 turn, so you are able to just remove that barrier completely. And then the Capone and the Caesar are just there for stats. I mean, they're just int, and they deal int damage, being driven and everything, so they're just there to be there. Now for the final boss of the map area anyway, we have the Sengoku being the big boss here, and they gave some really weird cooldowns for these characters. So -20 to versus gauges, which I'm pretty sure is for the fact that we have versus Whitebeard and Blackbeard having a 24 a number absurdly high for getting their versus effect to activate. It's like 24 something or whatever. So that's why that's there, but we also get -8 cooldown to super swaps and cooldowns to strength, Psy, and Dex characters. So on stage 2, we have 6 turns of damage reduction, 5 turns of special bind, and block slots. And on stage 3, we have to deal with 8 turns of defense up, 5 turns of damage threshold, and then 10 turns of despair alongside paralysis slots. But we also have an effect that interrupt actually that activates when you use a color fading boost, which does limit your specials to 1. Which, if you ask me, isn't that big of a deal. As long as you use the color fading last, it's not going to be that big of an issue for the rest of the specials, because I mean you're going to be done by that time anyway, so it doesn't really seem like that much of a problem anyway. So that's really whatever. But when you defeat the boss, you do get a death hit by 10k damage, so make sure that you have enough health for you to tank that, or you have some kind of damage reduction abilities. So for this team, we're going to be using the versus Blackbeard, obviously not the image there, but that's what that's supposed to be, versus Blackbeard alongside the 6+ Bartol Cavendish. Now on stage 2, we're going to be using a combination of the Treasure Map Queen alongside Summer Raid Boss Jinbei, both of those characters being able to remove damage reduction by you know, the appropriate amount of turns. And then we're going to be using the 5-turn special bind. We're going to be using the the Coliseum Hody to get rid of the special bind. Even though both Jinbei and Hody aren't, you know, driven under the Bartol Cavendish, they're still really good for this fight here. Stage 3, we have to deal with defense up, threshold, despair, and all that stuff. So if you have Jinbei max, you do get access to double special. So ideally, you'd use his first special on stage 2, and then his next special on stage 3, because he is able to he's able to reduce the defense of the enemies by to 0, I'm pretty sure. And he's also able to get rid of paralysis, which does in turn give us our matching slots, because it gets rid of those paralysis slots on our crew. Now for the other effects, despair is going to be removed by the Blackbeard in place of giving us the chain multiplicative boost, I'm pretty sure, which is actually a pretty cool effect. I really didn't want to talk about the teams, but I mean, it's whatever now. There's a really cool effect that he has to turn that despair into another boost for us. And for the color affinity, we're going to be using his versus gauge to give us the color affinity for our units here, since it won't activate the interrupt of the stage there. And then after that, we can use Bartol Cavendish to give us the attack boost for our driven characters. And then after that, you're pretty much home free. And they also give us the damage nullification ability with their special, and the damage reduction with the cooldown, their super swapping anyway. So we should be able to tank that damage after we defeat the boss there. Now, for the last team of the video here versus Akainu versus the Intrusion battle here, we do have the cooldowns being wonky again. -20 to the versus gauge once again, -8 to super swap, and then -5 cooldown to powerhouse, slasher, and driven characters. So on stage 2, we have 12 turns of despair, 12 turns of despair to the friend captain, 3 turns blow away to your captain, and 1 turn special reverse, which we'll get to why that's annoying in a minute. Sorry, I have like something in my throat right now. But that is a pretty annoying stage to deal with, because of the fact that you do basically have to bring Whitebeard as a captain here, because you do get blown away. If that blow away wasn't the case, you really wouldn't have to bring Whitebeard, but obviously you would. But now you have to do it because of the blow away there. But stage 3, we have 8 turns of damage reduction, 5 turns of defense up, and then 7 turns of attack down alongside attack down below a 3x chain. Which is pretty redundant if you ask me. We already got attack down, so you're going to reduce it even more, but that's whatever. Stun to the middle row, and then block slots. So the way the same is going to be working here is that we have the Whitebeard, and just like Blackbeard, the Whitebeard is able to reduce our despair by 10 turns. He also makes the crew immune to blow away, and he also is able to give us a chain boundary effect for 3 turns, so we can carry that into the next stage. But the other effect of Whitebeard, which is pretty interesting, is that the fact he's able to give us a health cut, but not when you activate the special. It has to be a turn afterwards. So we activate his special on stage 2. After stage 2, when you get to stage 3, his health cut's going to activate, and that will actually get rid of the stun debuff, I'm pretty sure. So that's pretty interesting there, of how his kit's going to be working with this boss here. Alongside that, he does give us another boost. I can't remember what it is now, but he does give us another boost alongside that. Now, for the damage reduction here, we are going to be using, well, at the very least, for stage 2, for special reverse, we're going to be using the turtle farming event Marco to give us the cooldowns to our powerhouse characters, which is literally just going to be Whitebeard. So we can just use his special alongside Whitebeard on stage 2, and then stage 3 comes around, and we have to deal with all the other effects and everything. So the damage reduction, we're going to be using the Garp special alongside Super Tandem to be able to get rid of the damage reduction by at least 6 turns. The other turns are going to be removed by the Whitebeard there, because of his versus effect being able to reduce damage reduction by 3 turns, and also giving us a code fearing boost for our Sai and Powerhouse characters. Now for the other effects here, like the 5 turns of defense up, again the Garp can get rid of that with his special and super type ability, and we have the 7 turn attack down being able to get removed by the Straw Hat Sai, the super type Straw Hat Robin, and her special gets rid of 5 turns of attack down, and we have the Fernosuke from the arena being able to reduce 2 more turns of that, so in turn being 7 turns. And then Robin, with us having Luffy on the crew, we are able to get the defense down conditional boost off of the enemy there, because as you can see, the enemy isn't immune to anything. So with that, you also have Luffy being able to give us the attack boost, and the Zoro being able to give us the orb boost, and all of this should be, you know, looking pretty well for the treasure map here. I had to actually revise the same a couple of times just to get it right, and I'm pretty sure this is the best I can do right now. Obviously, the cooldowns don't go for Free Spirit, which is what Luffy and Robin is, but they're cooldown themselves from them getting boosted in the captain abilities and their limerick abilities, and the ship. They should be ready to go when you hit stage 3 and everything, so that's not going to be a big issue. But overall, this team should be doing pretty well here. And like I said, I'm going to be posting my own teams later on, and when I get those together. So just stay tuned for that right there. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe. It really does help the channel out, and I will see you guys in the next video.